Charlie Linford is the director and founder of 11, a seven-figure industry-leading topic expert writing company. Charlie shares how he built the company from the ground up and has created a lifestyle of freedom and abundance in the process. This episode is for anyone on their entrepreneurial journey looking to leave their mark. We cover how to know that you are on the correct path, the discipline it actually takes to build a seven-figure agency, and how to build an agency from the ground up, starting from zero. Enjoy this one, guys. You're someone who's built a very, very successful company.
Mm-hmm.
You've created a lot of freedom in your life. In your life. I wanted to just kind of hand over to you. Why did you want to create freedom in life? And also, what have you kind of had to sacrifice to create that freedom as well?
So why did I want to have the freedom?
Why did you want to have freedom? Yeah. What does that even mean to you, freedom?
You see, I don't actually think that I knew what it was that I wanted for a long time. From 16 to 19, I did an IT apprenticeship and then had an IT job that I really hated. And I was, quite reckless at the time, had a bad relationship. Definitely didn't have any sign of it, but I was taking drugs all the time. Just really lost, not making any money, living at mum's. Didn't really have any clue what I wanted to be. And it's funny because throughout my life, I've kind of shown some signs of entrepreneurialism. I did some little things when I was younger. When I left school, I said I'm going to be a millionaire before I'm 25.
Nice.
I've done little weird things that I think of I almost kind of knew that I would eventually end up getting to where I'm at. But I never knew how. And like I say, so from 16 to 19, I was very lost. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was just doing this IT thing. I didn't really think about it. I was just passing through life. Honestly, I have no idea. It was such a weird time. And then all of a sudden, I watched, it was just with two friends, and we watched Wolf of Wall Street. And I swear to God, it's so weird because the transition from being this age, from 16 to 19 or around 20, 19, 20, watched this film. And I remember instantly walking out onto my balcony, or not balcony, on my mom's porch. Not quite at balconies yet, but on my mom's porch in the garden. And I was looking up at the sky and I was just thinking I need to get it. I need to get it. And it was very much materialistic. Obviously, you've seen the film Wolf of Wall Street.
Oh,
very materialistic life, the kind of women, just the money, all of the stuff that came.
Yeah.
But it was super motivational for me. And then, that was almost the trigger. It's so weird. If I was to explain to you the kind of person I was before that film, and then after watching the film, it's completely different. It's almost that was the moment.
Yeah.
It's so weird. Like I said, there was some moments in my younger days where I'd shown some signs of this thing, but no. And so, from then, it kind of just became, I need to get money.
Yes.
That was all it was. It was a very money-driven thing.
Yeah.
I was broke. And so I just started looking into ideas and researching things and trying to build, was with my friends, just trying to do anything, looking into all sorts of random, business ideas and stuff like that. So that's kind of how the journey started.
Yeah.
And then in terms of I think I slowly started to realize what kind of life it was that I wanted to live. And I did want to have a more free life. I would say that it's quite tough because freedom wasn't always the goal, I guess. It was definitely money.
Yeah.
A very money driven, because I didn't come from any money at all. My mom, single parent, I come from a council estate in Top Valley.
Yeah.
Never had any money. So I guess I was just very I need to change it up. And that was the goal initially. And then for a few years, I was just running a business and I didn't really have much freedom. I was just working in my living room. I was quite happy just working 12 hours a day on business, trying to get shit going off the ground. And then my business partner was traveling and doing all sorts of stuff, living his life, just traveling all around the world. And I was wait, why am I sat in this living room all day working when I can go and like travel and live the same sort of lifestyle. So that's what I did. And then from there, I guess it's just like I've slowly realized that I need to like try and build this business that I'm building around a lifestyle that allows me to be free. I definitely didn't start with that at first, but that's kind of what it started to become. Like now I'm very much more like lifestyle driven. So it's important for me to run a business in a way that allows me to live the sort of lifestyle that I want. And I realized the importance of just like having that freedom, you know, waking up whenever I want to wake up, doing what I want to do in the morning, being in a time zone that like supports my kind of lifestyle. So I like to get up early, go to the gym, whatever, then work later. So I don't know if that kind of answers your question.
Yeah, beautiful, man. When you were in that hustle phase, kind of like in the living room, working 12 hours a day, first of all, you watched Wolf of Wall Street. That sparked something in you where you're like, right, got to get money. Like, you know, the material side of it, but just like, I guess that abundance, you know, that energy from that film of just, you can have whatever you want sort of thing.
That's what it was.
Yeah. So I love that film, man. So good. But so from that, how did you land upon what you were doing? Because lots of people get inspired. Lots of people watch films. Lots of people watch a podcast or YouTube video and they're like, I'm going to do something. How did you actually take that energy of, I'm going to fucking do something? And how did you, first of all, start discovering different business ideas? Then how did you choose which one you were going to go with? And then how did you commit to it? And then how did you know that it was working or not working? Because I think a lot of people have these great ideas and then actually hardening them into reality is a bit of an issue.
Yeah. So firstly, I think a lot of people get inspired, but I think what happened with me was very different. Like it was like, there was no way that it wasn't going to happen. It was a switch. It was a completely different person came off the back of watching that film. Weirdly, right? It's that weird. Like it was just, that was it. It wasn't like, oh yeah, this would be nice. It was like, no, this is a must have first. And so, I mean, I was young, kind of dumb. Like, you know,
we all are,
20 years old, bro. Like I didn't have a clue. I had some computer knowledge, obviously I'd done IT. So I just started researching all sorts of stuff. I guess just watching YouTube videos, didn't do like any courses or anything. Just started watching YouTube videos, coming up with like mad ideas. One of the first ideas I had was like this raffle idea, where it was like to build an app essentially that allows you to raffle your own items off. So you could put, let's say like TVs on this app, and then you could basically set up a raffle and then make a profit on these items. But then we realized that you can't actually run raffles for profit.
So
that was like, you know, it took a while for us to realize that, but that was the first, like one of the first ideas that I remember. There's loads of little weird ideas like this. And then the first business I did, which was terrible now, my mom was really into aloe vera. So there's a brand called Forever Living Products, which is like a network marketing business. So this is the first thing that I did, where I actually made some money. I didn't make, I was making like £300 a month. Honestly, I was like, it was terrible. But this is the first thing that I did that kind of showed that I had some sort of business understanding. So the essential thing, what this business was you have these aloe vera products, you bring people into your business, and then you obviously help them sell the products, then bring people into their business as well. And then obviously it's just like a chain, and you make money off their sales and whatnot. So I came into this business with my friend, and I was like, no, I'm going to change this whole game. Like, let's forget about the products. Let's just hire people. Like, all we want to do is get as many people into our network, and they get people in their network. And so we created, like, basically, like, started changing, like, the process or trying to rework this business model. And I was, like, creating those, like, process documentation and all sorts of stuff to, like, try and make this new model that I'd thought of work. Which I think, when I reflect on that, it's like, that was like actually quite intelligent and good what I was doing. Like I was really like building processes, like passing video instructions onto the team, like all things that no one was really doing, like things I didn't receive from my upline. And I was just like doing this. Like it was like intuition. So that was cool. Also, it was a lot of like going out, contact marketing. So just going out in the street, like approaching people, like, I've got this business idea. Like, do you want to be, you know? getting their numbers. And then, so that was the first business that I had. Like I say, it massively flopped. I mean, we got about 10 people in, made about £200 a month. And that was it, done.
Yeah.
But it was just obviously not the right thing for me.
But you were building out these SOPs just kind of very intuitively, and so you realized that you had much more of, the kind of business mindset, the business acumen, and you could manage people. And you thought outside the box.
No, exactly. So it was that. And it was just a very good learning experience. Like I built confidence from going out in the street, approaching people, got very good at that. Actually ended up getting invited to go on stage, speak in front of like 500 people to tell them how I was actually doing it.
Oh, wow.
Because I was pulling numbers like really easily.
Yeah.
So I won't say I'm really that good at sales, but then obviously that must have became pretty decent at it for doing that. So anyway, that was the first business. Probably went a bit too long on that. It's not that exciting, but that was the first thing I did.
Yeah.
And then went into Amazon. So I had an Amazon FBA business.
Yeah.
I loved it. Like I was basically selling outdoor products, branding, contacting suppliers in China. Yeah. Branding the products, getting them shipped into Amazon, FBA. And that business went well. I was running that for 2 years. So we got to about $2,500 a day in revenue, something around this through this sleeping bag that we were selling. Now, it was a painful business. We weren't in stock for long throughout the whole 2 years, just because took ages for the products to be shipped over and whatnot. And then basically naivety, being new in business sort of came to bite me on the arse. So what happened was, after 2 years of running this business, we'd got an investment for about 20 grand, along with the money that we racked up from, like, obviously selling these products. We was about to be able to, so at the time I was working a job as well, just to kind of like keep reinvesting back into the business. And then what happened was Amazon shut us down, essentially. So we got this investment, placed this big order, business got closed down. This was 2 years of work that basically just got like no way of getting it back. We had lawyers involved, everything to try and bring our listings back online. Couldn't do it. That was like 2 years wasted in this business. And it was a horrible position because like at this point when we got the investment, I was ready to invest in enough stock to be able to start actually taking money out of the business. Yeah. So I'd have been making good money. Yeah. And I was earning like £1,000 a month for my job. So like it would have been a life-changing moment for me. And I was basically there after 2 years. And then we got closed down. I remember like reading the email, running out of work, like ringing lawyers, like it was fucking dreadful, bro. So that was like I say, 2 years gone. Yeah. And then it was just like, right, I need to get out of this job. Like I was so ready and I need to get out. So am I going too long here, by the way?
I am loving this, brother. I'm loving this. Keep going. This is great. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So then that business flopped. There's two businesses, both flopped. Yeah. And then I was also in crypto at the time. Yeah. So, like I was just like kind of like interested in it, investing a little bit, like the little bit that I had. Yeah. And then I had like a crypto blog that I was writing about. Nice. Like, this was back in like 2018, 2019. Just writing guides like Bitcoin versus Ethereum and all sorts of stuff. And like I said, this business had fell through. So what we decided to do was set up a agency. So me and my business partner, we set up an agency to kind of offer services to crypto companies because I was very interested in that space. So we kind of created this agency that, as most agencies start out, they have this like fucking variety of services. We had about 8 services we was offering. And so we had these eight services we was offering. And then we started contacting companies and we ended up landing a job in writing, which kind of led to where I'm at now. Yeah. So I own like a writing agency essentially. Yeah. And just kind of it's come from there. Yeah.
So man, it's just awesome. And it's so cool to hear all of the stories and, all of the points that you could have given up. Yeah. And you didn't. You kept going, you kept trying something new, and you, even when it looked like you were about to make it, be able to break out. You had like the biggest hurdle, but you picked yourself up, kept going. So I guess like it'd be interesting. Your business at the moment is called
11.
Yeah. It's called 11 and it's a copywriting agency.
Yeah. It's a bit more than that now.
Yeah. So, well, man, like let's pick it apart because it's awesome. How did it start?
Okay.
And you obviously had this initial idea. Okay, and now I know you're I'm gonna say looking to exit as well. Yeah, looking to exit, which is amazing. So how did it get to that stage from an idea to this huge company that you're able to exit, bro? Because that's amazing. You created something amazing.
No, thank you. So basically, as I said, so it started out just quite random. I was running a crypto blog, ended up landing a cryptocurrency education. It was a cryptocurrency education platform. And we started basically producing like 30,000 words a week for them. Sorry. That was the first job that we ever had in this agency. It was 30,000 words a week. Now, that requires a team of like 5 or 6 writers to produce that content. So, and immediately, the first job we had to hire a team. Now, I'd never hired a team apart from obviously the first business. But that doesn't even count. I won't even count that as hiring a team, bro. But yeah, so we had to hire like these 5 or 6 writers and we had this terrible budget. So we was like fucking scouring all different platforms for writers. So we had about, mate, I can't even tell you how difficult this first project was, but it was like 3 months of hell. It was like, we was like bringing writers in, realizing it was bad, having to we must have hired about 30 writers in the course of this like 3-month period of running this job. And just swapping writers in and out as like obviously trying to improve the quality of the product. But we managed to pull it off surprisingly. So this first job, I mean, we was doing about 25K a month in revenue like immediately, which I guess is quite good for a first project, but it was intense. A lot of work. I was doing a lot of writing. Like I'm not a writer. So for me, owning this writing company is quite odd. Like I don't come from a writing background. So that was the first project. We pulled it off and then we ended up like getting referred through this network. So this company belonged to a bigger company, a holding company that owned like Hostinger and a few other big brands. So we ended up getting passed through this network and just basically was a content production agency. So what that means is that companies would come to us, tell us what content they want writing. We'd provide the specialist writers to produce that content. And it's written content, so it's all articles, blog format. We'd write the articles, we'd edit the articles, and then we'd publish them on the clients' websites. So that was the business model, and that ran for a couple of years. We still do work with some of the biggest publishers in the world, Future PLC being one of them. We've worked with a few like massive brands, and so we was a content production agency, and then over the last like 2 years, we've developed into a more of an end-to-end content solution. So we help people with organic SEO content, essentially. So we work more with like SaaS companies now. So they'll come to us, we develop the content plan. We have we do produce the content as well. We do all sorts of reporting and things like that. So it's like I say, an end-to-end service. Now it's funny because this business kind of just happened. It came out of a need to earn money. So it wasn't like ever a passion project for me. Like I said, like I don't come from a writing background. I love business. I love processes. I love like all this sort of stuff. So for me, wait, let me kind of think about what I'm going to say. So so this kind of happened out of a spur of a need to make money. So it's kind of gone along. And yes, it's developed, we've got a good sized team. The business it's actually a very complicated business to run. There's a lot of moving parts. There's a lot of things that can go wrong in an article and all these sorts of things. But I've learned so much from running this business. Like it's crazy. Because of how technical it is and how many different moving parts and how many people are involved, like to actually produce the product and stuff like that. Like I've learned no end from running this business. So for the learning experience, I'm very grateful. But in terms of scale and like how like fast it's been able to grow, like it is more of a slow, it's definitely more of a slow model. So now we're in a position anyway where we've built all the operations. Now it's been like 4.5 years or something like that now. Built the operations. It's in a great place. We've got a really fucking good team. Like my team is amazing. We've got directors in a few different departments. We've got about 40 writers now. So the team is pretty big, especially considering the amount of revenue that we do. And we've just bought in two, we've got some people buying some equity in the company now. One of them's just sold a £300 million company, and he's going to be working with us, 4 or 5 hours a week. There's another guy as well, it's also very big. So it's exciting. Like just sold some equity. The plan is now to build the company for another few years to a big exit. And then I'm looking forward to doing something that I'm really passionate about, where money isn't the problem anymore.
Yeah. Man, congratulations.
Yeah.
It's so cool, bro. Like, it's so cool. I think it's amazing for people to hear as well that, it's don't necessarily follow your passion. Like, maybe, but also maybe not. Like, there's so many different ways. You don't just get caught up on these things. And you were able to kind of, something that you even said wasn't your strength. Writing wasn't your strength. You've been able to build this huge team, huge business off the back of it, just for solving a valuable problem. Man, I think this is amazing. I wanted to ask about kind of like sort of mindset behind building everything that you've done, how fitness has kind of played a role in this as well, because look at you, you're a fine specimen of a man as well. I've trained with you and you're a motherfucker. Like, it's, I remember that session we did, and the whole way through the session, you were like, I got a surprise for you at the end. And I don't know, I was expecting maybe like a protein shake, or I thought you were going to get me something nice, man. And the surprise was 50 burpees. After a killer session, put us through 50 burpees. So we still haven't really forgiven you for that, I don't think. But yeah, man, how has kind of attacking your body and kind of building your body enabled you to develop a mindset that's enabled you to also, build a business? Have those things gone hand in hand? What lessons have you learned? What's that process been like for you? Because, and I know at the moment you're killing it. You've got your next goals at the moment as well, and you're absolutely crushing them as well.
Yeah, no, thank you, bro. Obviously, I like a challenge. I like to push myself. And that, 50 burpees at the end is an example of that.
You arsehole.
That was good fun.
That was great, bro.
Fitness. I've been training since I was like 14, on and off, but like I'd never been able to stick to it. So I only able to do like 3 months at a time. So I do probably from like 14 to like 26, I was going to the gym 3 months. I'd get big on a terrible fucking diet, hit my goal of a certain weight, actually look like shit, and then fucking stop training. So that was the cycle every year until I was like 26. And I was like, right, I need to change this. Like I want to start working out. There's a few guys that I'm really inspired by. George Heaton is a person that comes to mind. Everyone knows that he's someone I quite look up to and I represent. I've just seen that, the way that he's like building a business, like really looking after his fitness. I was just really inspired. So I decided to change the way that I thought about training. And, it became more of like a long-term thing. Like, okay, like now I'm just going to like go to the gym, focus on training, build the habit of going to the gym, and then see how that transforms my work as well, which it has done no end. So I think when it comes to fitness, like people overcomplicate it, firstly. I think one of the reasons why I've struggled to stay consistent in the gym so long was just because I'd like try and do too many things at once, like train, eat like crazy. And then, I just want to enjoy it. Whereas I think you just need to take it step by step. But the main thing is just going to the gym and working out and pushing yourself. And the way that reflects in work is, I think you've probably heard this many times, like if you train hard and you make your workout as difficult as it possibly can be, then when it comes to work and the problems that you have in work, I've had shitloads, obviously, we all do in business, right? So it just means that those things are easier. It's much easier to tackle them than problems. And also it just kind of keeps you in check. Like, before 2 years ago, like I would go out, I'd party, I'd kind of live a bit more recklessly. I didn't give a shit what I was eating. I had a terrible diet. My digestive system was fucked, like all this sort of stuff. Whereas when I'm going to the gym, it keeps everything in check. So because I'm disciplined and I stick to going to the gym, that means that I'm showing up for work more. My diet's better, like everything around, like it is the center of everything now for me. Fitness is the center. And as long as I do that consistently, everything else seems to sort itself out. So yeah, that's one of the reasons.
Yeah, I love that, man. And it's kind of like, and I've actually struggled with kind of moving around. I've been aware that I need to kind of plonk myself down for a bit of a more extended period of time, because I've been in this habit of getting into a routine for a month and then I have to go somewhere else. Well, I don't have to, but I do. I go somewhere else and I'm in a routine for a month, and that's not a routine. That's, so it's something that I've realized that I've missed, and that there's perhaps a drawback of like the lifestyle I've been living is that long-term, thinking about fitness long-term. But one of the biggest things I think from fitness at, kind of any level, it's that initial, that energizing yourself, getting yourself in an energized state, doing something hard to start the day. And then it makes everything else easy. But then it's that when you transform your body, you prove to yourself that you can transform matter. You can transform things around you and change them. So if you're trying to build a business, it's exactly what you need to do. You need to transfer. You need to create something. You need to be able to prove to yourself first with your fitness, you can do that, that you can change things. Throughout this time of building, you've obviously been in a relationship as well, for a good chunk of it. A lot of guys, red pill space, it's like, make you millions and then maybe just get some hoes, or, like there's various kind of approaches. And I think a lot of young lads are like, I don't know, there's a lot of advice out there. You've got a wonderful girlfriend.
I do.
You do?
I do.
How's that been kind of building, having like a partner? Some guys, when they have a partner, it really dulls them. It really makes them lazy and complacent. As much as you want to talk about, what's that experience been like while building?
Okay, no, it's a good question. Okay, so firstly, obviously there are pros and cons, obviously. The pro of, like, one of the obviously pros of starting out. So I've been with Sky since like before everything, essentially. So she's like loved me from the beginning. Like before, obviously having some success in business, like being in shape, all of these things. And so let me put this inside.
Oh, good, man.
And the reason why I think that's important is because I think if you decide to do what you just said, get rich and then try and get a woman, right? How do you ever know that she's like actually with you for who you are and not for the things that you've got, right? So that's one of the beautiful things about like having a woman that sticks by you from the beginning. As far as like it depleting me to a sense, I've never felt like that. Like Sky, she's someone that has very similar traits to me. She's someone that like wants to do well for herself as well. She has like a YouTube. She's always been doing things. She's trying to do things herself and improve herself as well. And like, I'm someone that can very easily, like, I can beat myself up a lot. I think it's very common as well. Like for guys, like, I think, sorry, this is a different point, but essentially if we didn't beat ourselves up or hold ourselves accountable to a sense, like where we just basically, we have to criticize ourselves in order to grow, I think, sometimes. Like, I think it's quite, I don't know, it kind of goes hand in hand with becoming successful. It's like, a burning desire to be better, to compare yourself, like these sorts of things. And so when I have those feelings, like with Sky, like I'll voice them to her and she can make me feel better. Like, she makes me realize that, like, obviously things are okay. And I think that's very important, just like to have someone that is there backing you, that's supporting you. And she's done that throughout the whole journey. And that's obviously brought me happiness. And this is one side of it, the emotional level stuff. But then also my life is what it is now because of her. Like if I wasn't with Sky, I'd still be in England in my living room working 12 hours a day. Like that for sure. Because like I said at the start, like my business partner was doing all this travel stuff, and like it was Sky who was the initiator for us to go and start doing the travel. Like she was the person that was like, no, I really like to go and do that, and like you should, because and then it became, oh yeah, like, let's definitely do that. But she's much more spontaneous than me, so she likes to just go and do things on a whim. Like I'm much more structured, but it's brought me out of my comfort zone to do that. So yeah, the relationship's definitely been beneficial. I would say that 100%. I think if I was single, I'd probably be more financially well off potentially. Like I'm not gonna lie, because I probably would, like, obviously I'd be saving money and lifestyle, and then I'd also be just have more time just to work. But I think that like it isn't just fucking about that, right? Like we need to like make sure we're doing well in all areas of life.
Yes.
And she brings that love, support, you know, the travel, the experiences, and she's just a fucking, you know, not only a good partner, but just a good like friend and someone to be around.
Companion.
So, yeah, exactly.
Man, that's awesome. I'm so like happy for you that you have it, and I see it with the two of you. It's awesome, man. And not a lot of people, not everyone has that, and it's a beautiful thing. A really beautiful thing. What do you think? Because it's interesting. We're in an interesting space. This sort of like entrepreneurial space, this self-improvement space. Like obviously, people like Andrew Tate have come in and they've like blown it up, and they have their particular points of view. Cool. Yeah. There's various other things, but there's a lot of young guys who now think that success is copying Andrew Tate. They kind of missed a lot of the messages sometimes, and they think that, okay, well, I'll smoke a cigar and I'll shout, and that means I'm successful. Like, because young boys are impressionable, we get it. Like, and bearing in mind, I really like Tate, and I love a lot of his messages. I really do. I think he's great. I think he's fucking hilarious. I think he's a comedian above everything else. I think he's just so funny. But yeah, I'm curious, like your point of view, knowing the online space, knowing what's going on, like, how do you think younger guys, what should they focus on? What are they kind of missing the point on? What should they focus on? What's some like actionable steps that some younger guys, they're 18, 19, they're hungry, they want it, they have that, you know, the spark, everything inside of them, but they may be focusing on some of the wrong things. What in your opinion, should they be focusing on? What are the first sort of steps they should be taking to actually move forward and start seeing some success?
It's a good question.
Good.
That one has me thinking a lot, because really and truly, like, there is no like book to follow, right? Like there are no rules. Like really, there aren't. Like you can wake up, you can have this fantastic morning routine, or you can be like me and just wake up when you want and kind of just do things that like freely. You know, I think that there are things that people should do now. A lot of guys, I mean, I definitely did when I was younger. Maybe it's just my surroundings. I think there's a lot of younger lads that are probably smoking too much, too much fucking weed.
Yeah.
To be real, like, and I think a lot of people, like, honestly, like, I know this is probably a bit controversial, but like, a lot of people do smoke weed. I used to a lot, but maybe overdo it and aren't, you know, as being as productive as they think they are.
Oh yeah,
just because they're
big time.
They're either smoking, drinking, whatever. So I'd say cut those sorts of things. Get more control over like what it is that you're consuming and doing on a daily basis. I'd say obviously working out is great. Now I didn't work out when I was starting out, and I obviously managed to get somewhere.
Yeah.
So you don't need to, but I definitely see a massive benefit with it. And I would just say like just do what your brain's telling you to do. Like, we all have this thing inside of us. Like, this is a very interesting thing that I thought of before, and I've heard it a few times since. Like, we all know what it is that we need to do. Like, when we do things that are bad for us, our brain says that this is bad and it beats us up, right? Like, we know inside of us because we feel like shit. We do things, we feel like shit, and then we beat ourselves up because we're not doing the thing that we're being told, what our brain's telling us we need to do. It's like, if you're someone who wants to build a business, like, the first step is in your mind. Like, it's okay. You need to probably sit on YouTube for 12 hours a day for the next week, and you might come up with an idea, or you might find someone to buy a course, or you know what the first step is most of the time. Like, most people know what they should be doing. Like, it's crazy how much people put off doing the next step just because they're thinking about all the fucking other shit that they've got to do. Or they're just being lazy and smoking weed and doing all this stupid shit. So I would just say, like, just do the things that you know you need to do and what you should be doing and what your brain is telling you to do. People say, I don't know how to start. Well, I don't believe that. I just don't. Like, we all have access to the internet. Like, you're being told by Andrew Tate how to start. Like, you buy his program, buy his $50 program and learn the stuff. Like, you know, I'm sure it's not great material, but it will get you some ideas flowing, and that's it. You just want to have ideas, and then when you get the idea, okay, explore the idea. Like, I don't think there is no playbook, as I say. It's just do the shit that you know you need to do to improve, you know, learn, do the right thing, do the right things for you. And
I love that, man. And you're so right with, like, buy a course, buy a fucking $10 ebook. Is the $10 ebook going to be the thing that makes you a millionaire? Unlikely. But you set the intention. I Googled a question, how do I make money? Okay, start there. Ask ChatGPT, open your fucking phone and just press it and be like, how do I do whatever I'm trying to figure out? And it will tell you a bunch of stuff. There you go. But like, when you buy a course or when you buy something, you set an intention that you're like, right, I'm learning. Whether you use the material or not, there'll be something in there that you take, a golden little nugget that will help you onto the next state. It will open the next door. But you've set the intention that you are now someone who learns. You are someone who is going to keep following your curiosity. And if you keep following that curiosity, you'll find answers. And you can take, and it's up to you. Like you said, it's up to you if you take action on your learnings or not at all. So
that's it, bro.
What should people look for? What should people look for in like a mentor online? So with all these flashy guys with like, driving around a Lambo. Rolex is great. I love Rolexes. But what should guys be looking for when they're following people online? What should they actually be looking for as like, right, that's someone I can listen to. How can they spot that?
It's a good question. Again, I'm just trying to think like who I was listening to and why I was listening to them. But it's hard now, right? Because there's so many people online that are just false, right? They actually don't make money. They might make money, but they don't make it from the thing that they're selling. And there's just so many people online right now that, you know, aren't actually what they're presenting themselves to be. So these young guys can easily can look at them and think that they're doing something and then look at them, right? And try to follow them, but it's the wrong idea. So I would say to just make sure you just verify the person that you're listening to. Like, try your best to verify that they are the person that they say they are. Two, like, obviously just like actually like them, their values, what they're saying, and don't just follow what everyone else is doing. You know, for example, like the Andrew Tate thing. Like, I also like Andrew Tate. I think he's cool. Like you say, I think he's more of a comedian than anything. He's very good on camera, but he's also extremely, extremely intelligent. And has a lot of good points, a lot of interesting points, controversial ones. But, you know, a lot of people would have followed him, and then people would have followed him too because other people are following him, right? That's just how a lot of people work. But don't just look up to people and follow people that align with your true values. Make sure that they are who they say they are. And yeah, there's nothing wrong with getting inspiration from a bunch of guys either. I definitely look up to quite a few people. I think when I was starting out, I'm just trying to think like what I did, who I learned from. I don't actually know. I think like I bought a course from Iman Gatsi.
Yes. Me too. I bought that course. Yeah, it's a great course.
Not at the start though. This was like 3 years in. Like when I was looking to start the agency, I was like, oh, I just want to like know what processes it's got, like kind of thing. But
yeah, so it's find someone that you actually like, verify them, check that they've got receipts. Check that there's testimonials, check that they are who they say they are, check that they've got other people results who are similar to you. That's a big one. And anyone who's selling something, this is why it's so important to have a clear avatar if you're selling, is because when other people see you can get results for people similar to them, it makes selling a whole lot easier. Rather than having like a wide range of people that you're trying to attract, go specific. And then people will just be like, yeah, sweet. That's my guy. That works. So, man, I love that. Before we kind of like wrap up, and this has been awesome, mate, I kind of wanted to know what sort of, like any sort of principles you've had, or like, it could be spiritual principles, it could be kind of mottos that you've read, quotes, anything you've had that's kind of like guided your decision making, anything that sort of like helped you make decisions. So for example, for me, there's a book called like the Tao Te Ching that I've been reading for the last few years, and it's, if I don't know what decision to make, I will go jump into that and I'll start reading, and it will always help me. But for some people, that's kind of like other books they've read. Like I know, like Think and Grow Rich, for example, is a huge one that people use as like their Bible. So is there anything that you have found that has really helped you make decisions, that has guided you over, the course of your journey?
So, I mean, what you've just described, like, you can go back to a book and or a resource and like be able to make a decision. Now, that's really cool. I wouldn't say I have anything like that. I mean, obviously I've got mentors now. So my answer to that is to find a mentor. Like I've had a few in my life from like when I first started 11. I had one guy that like, made me make the decision to hire an editor, just like a really simple thing. And, and then now obviously I've got a few advisors and mentors, and I can't even explain how important it is if you are running a business to try and find someone who's in your area, in your niche, that's like, I don't know, so much older than you, has so much more experience. Like it's actually crazy how much faster your business will grow and how much, just like how much better your decision making will be. All of these things, if you have someone that you can actually go to and ask questions. Now that's obviously not it's not earth shattering or anything. We all know we do need mentors, but like, and I don't know how I even came across mine, because when I was starting out, I remember people saying like, you need a mentor, and I'd be confused. Like, I don't know how to get one. Like, where do I find one? Like, how does this whole thing work? And I didn't have one for a long time. Like, it just naturally came. So I think through doing the work, so just for people who are wondering this themselves, I think that a mentor will come to you when you're ready for them. That's my take on it. Like when your business is in a certain place, the person will come because they'll be interested, right? Like they'll be interested in getting involved. People will start gravitating to you more when you are doing more for yourself. Like you're not going to find a mentor if you're just fucking sat doing fuck all, right? Like you have to do shit, and then people will see, it will just happen naturally, I think. But when you do find these people that you can look up to, like just treat them well, obviously. Like acknowledge like them, respect them, and and usually they're more than happy to help and as well. So
I love that.
That's my experience.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yes,
I know it's an old adage.
Is that a thing?
Yeah.
There we go.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And it's a great way of understanding that there's so much wisdom that exists in the world. It's already there. Like that we don't even know. You don't know what you don't know, right? You don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
Like there's wisdom that, for myself, I've learned from books that were written 2,000 years ago. It's always been there.
Yeah.
But until you start searching, until you start doing some of the work on yourself, then it presents itself to you. So you have a conversation with someone, they put you in contact with someone.
Yeah.
You have to, student has to be ready. You have to show the intention. Yeah, man. Where can people find you? How can they get into your world, start learning more about you and connecting with you as well? Instagram.
Main place, yeah. So at Charlie Linford. I post stories a lot.
Yeah.
I don't, I just post my lifestyle kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't really post all too much. I have said that I want to post more this year. So yeah, that's the place to find me right now. This is the first podcast I've done, so there's no more.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
There'll be a few, I think.
I hope so.
Yeah,
I hope so. And obviously I intend on them getting better and providing more wisdom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Bro, you're an absolute killer. Thanks so much for taking the time today. I've thoroughly enjoyed this, and I know people are going to take a lot away from this conversation as well. So,
I hope so.
Yeah, appreciate you coming on, man. You're a G.
Thank you, bro. And you. Appreciate you having me. It's, pleasure.